welcome. I'm Marie. Today we are going to talk about Denmark and 20 fun facts about Denmark that maybe you didn't know. So the first thing is that Denmark is the smallest country in Scandinavia. It is only under 43,000 square kilometers in total. We also have more than 400 small islands. And Denmark is a very flat country. We have no mountains at all. And another thing is that you are never more than 50 kilometers from the sea. So it's easy to always find a good beach here in Denmark. And we have many beautiful beaches here. There are just under 6 million people living in Denmark. And 10.5% of those people were born in other countries. So we are a very small population here. Another fun fact is that we have the world's oldest flag. And I'll just show you what it looks like. If you don't know already, it's right here. It's called Dannebro. Dannebro. The legend says that it fell from the sky all the way back in 1219 in a battle against the Estonian army. And the flag is quite significant to the Danes. They raise the flag a lot whenever there's a celebration for anything. Denmark also has one of the oldest monarchies in the world. It dates all the way back more than 1,000 years ago in the time of the Vikings. And it was Gorm den Gamle, which was the first king. And we now again have a king in Denmark. We have had a queen, Queen Margrethe den anden, the second, and she was the queen since the mid-70s, I think. And now her son, King Frederick, has taken over the throne. Yes, and he was quite a ladies' man back in the day, and his brother was too, I can recall. So even though they are kings and queens, they are very laid back and very just like any other Dane. Maybe a little different, but they're pretty much like the rest of us, which is why I think that the Danes really love their monarchy, the royal family. They're very popular. But, yeah, of course, not everyone agrees with the monarchy, but most Danes do support it. And another fun fact is that you probably didn't know is that Bluetooth, is actually named after a Danish Viking king called Bluetooth. Yes. And I don't remember right now exactly what the story is behind that, but maybe we can take that in another video. And now let's talk a little bit about food. The national dish in Denmark is stegt flæsk med persillesauce, which means fried pork. Yes, the fatty part of the pork with parsley sauce and potatoes. Yeah, that is the national dish. Not the most healthy dish, but a lot of Danes love it, and you might want to try it too when you get here. What we also really eat a lot, especially for lunch, is smørbrød. Smørbrød. It is like rye bread with leverpostej, which is like liver mousse or something you can call it. Yeah, leverpostej. And we can put eggs and shrimps on it, or fish fillet, or sill herring is also very popular. We eat it raw here, marinated, and with that we drink something called snaps, which is very strong alcohol. It's like 40% alcohol, and it tastes a little bit like licorice, which is also something that Danes love, licorice. And I guess that's how the name licorice is invented, because it tastes like this liquor, maybe. I'm just guessing, but it could be. I'll have to look it up. So, yes, pork is very essential in the Danish food, and we have a lot of pigs here too. A lot of pigs. We are more pigs in Denmark than people. Quite significantly more. There are more than 13,000 pigs that was counted back in 2021, and only 6 million people. So yes, more than twice as many pigs here. But they say out in the world, especially the Englishmen, they say that the best bacon comes from Denmark. So we are great distributors of pork and also of dairy. All around the world we distribute dairy products. So we are a nation of farmers, and that has been that way traditionally forever, pretty much. Yes. And you might also know something called Danish, the pastry, which is called Danish. Yes, and you might think that is a Danish invention, but it actually isn't. It is from Vienna, and we actually call it Vienna bread, Wienerbrød, which means Vienna bread. So I guess the Danes just love it so much and eat it so much that people that come here, they think that it is Danish. So yeah, quite surprising. But yeah, and it is very crunchy, buttery pastry, baked with butter, and sometimes there's cream or jam in the middle. So yeah, quite tasty. I will try to eat one of those pastries here one day and do a little mukbang, maybe eating some traditional Danish foods if you would like, and then describe the taste. It has been a long time since I've tried one of these because they're not exactly healthy. And many of the traditional Danish food is not very healthy at all. It's quite fatty, actually. But I could make an exception, maybe. And to talk about something else, the swan is the national bird of Denmark, the beautiful swan. And you might also know the story written by H.C. Andersen about the ugly duckling which turns into a beautiful swan. That is one of the most famous fairy tales ever. And H.C. Andersen may be one of the most famous Danish people ever lived. He lived back in the 1800s. He was born in 1805 and died in 1875, so many years ago. And he wrote the most iconic and famous fairy tales, also The Little Mermaid, which has later been adapted by Disney and rewritten. But yes, the original story is Danish. And if you visit Copenhagen, you will also probably visit the Little Mermaid, the statue of the Little Mermaid. A lot of tourists come there and take pictures of her, and she is lovely. Yes. And if you are indeed a fan of H.C. Andersen, you can go and visit his home. It is a museum. It is decorated just like when he lived there. Not a thing has changed. But his home is in Odense, which is on Fyn. I don't remember how you say Fyn in English, but it is a smaller island. The third largest island, though, of Denmark. Jutland is the biggest island of Denmark. Then the Sealand, Sjælland, Sealand, and then comes Fyn, which I can't remember how to say in English. Yes, and then there is Bornholm, which is also a very magnificent place, which has a different kind of nature than the rest of Denmark. So beautiful nature experience to go to Bornholm. And I must go there because I have actually never been there. It is located quite a bit further away from the rest of Denmark. Yeah, but it's worth a visit, I've heard. And they also have their own special dishes over there. But we can get into that in another video. Maybe I will make a little traveling vlog at one point. Yeah. Another funny little thing that you might really wonder about when you come to Denmark is that when the police conducts a speed check, it's actually called fart control. Yes. Fart actually means speed in Danish. So that is confusing for many foreigners who come here, and they drive around in the road and there's a sign that says fart. Yeah, and the speed limit, fart limit. Yeah. But yeah, also on the elevator it can say I fart i fart, which means in motion, in speed. Yeah, that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So, yeah. And also there is a town a little bit south from Aarhus called Otter. And it's not because the people there are odd at all. They are just like the rest of us. But that's just the name of the town, Otter. Yes. But at one point, they had a tourist bus company called Otter Tourist Fart. And when they went to England, it caused quite a stir when the English people saw the bus. And they might have thought that it was a little weird. Otter Tourist Fart. Yes. Which of course means, yeah, you know what it means. Yeah, we don't have to say it. Okay. Yes, and the Danish people are known to be very, very open-minded. For example, they were the first country to allow same-sex marriages all the way back in 89. Yeah, so that's a long time ago. Or registered partnerships is also what they call it. Denmark was also the first country to allow pornography. You know the picture pornography? It was in 1969, and the pornographic literature was allowed in 1967, and that made Denmark known for its very open-minded and free-thinking culture. And you can agree or disagree. I personally don't like that sort of thing, but that doesn't mean it shouldn't be allowed, as long as it's not obvious to little kids. That was something that was discussed some years ago, I think probably like 20 years ago. I remember that some parents, they were complaining that their little children could just go into a convenience store and see these gross magazines right in plain sight for children. And I think that was good that was banned, because that you don't see that anymore. So someone spoke up, and that was a good thing. It used to just be in little dark areas of a store, private areas. Yeah. And of course, sarcasm and self-irony is a big part of the Danish sense of humor, which can be a little bit hard for other people that come from the outside to understand. And sometimes people misunderstand and take offense. But we have to be a little careful sometimes. Yes, and also Danes are very, very authority. They really they follow the rules. They listen to authority a lot. So, for example, they never cross a red light. They always wait for the green light. And they never skip the line in the store or in an amusement park or whatever. No, it is really frowned upon if people skip the line. And if you dare to do that, someone will come and correct you and ask you to go back in line. So, yes, very respectful culture in that area. We also really make a very big deal out of being on time and set a date and a time for when meeting up. It is very important to not waste people's time and always be on time. We have also been voted as the second happiest country in the world, next to Finland, which is the happiest country in the world. So they say. But yes, and I guess it is because there is very little crime. There is it's a very egalitarian country, and we do have some of the world's highest taxes, which I do not agree with, but many Danish people are happy to pay their taxes because they feel like they get a lot for their money. Like they think they get free hospitals, free education, and a lot of other benefits. But it's not actually free when you pay like 60% in taxes. So, yeah. Also, you will notice that Hygge is very important to Danish people. It is a term that is not really translatable to other languages. It means something like coziness, to cozy up, and yes. And when we do, we eat and drink coffee, and we eat pastries and småkager, cookies, and we like a little sweets. We are also the country in the world who eats the most candy, sweets per citizen. So that's quite remarkable. Yes, and we drink a lot of coffee. Just black coffee, mostly, with maybe a little milk. Not so fancy, as you might know, in your country. Coffee and cake is traditionally what we hygge with in the afternoon. Eftermiddagskaffe, afternoon coffee, and morning coffee, and evening coffee. Yeah, we drink all that much coffee. And the quality of the food in the Danish restaurants is extremely high. We have amazing restaurants. We have many exquisite Michelin restaurants. In 2024, no less than 31 restaurants were given 44 Michelin stars. And it is especially the cooking style that is called New Nordic, where they experiment with Nordic food traditions and new tastes from the Danish nature. Like, I can't really come up any right now, but I don't eat a lot of, I don't go to a lot of Michelin restaurants, unfortunately. but it's very, very experimental and very, very interesting food they make there in these restaurants. And one other thing you might notice in Denmark is that there is no word for please. Yes, there isn't. So you can say maybe that we are not as polite maybe as the Englishmen. The English people have a lot of what is it called? Social norms, social standards that we kind of look a little bit more lightly at. We don't take these social polite norms. We don't take them too seriously. We're just really relaxed here. So you can't really go wrong. Yeah. And you might also know that Lego was invented in Denmark. I think it was all the way back in the 1930s. And it is a name that is put together. Leg, you would say in English, is play, and go is good. So play good, yes. And yes, and we have Legoland here in Jutland. It is south from Aarhus, where I live. And it is a huge amusement park with many fun rides and a whole town built out of Lego. It's quite magnificent. So I would recommend you to go there. They also have a resort where you can live there. So very exciting. So yes, I know that there are 1,000 other things that I could say about Denmark. Many facts, but I will just leave it at this right now. And I will maybe make a part 2 of this video. So write me down in the comments if you liked this type of video and you would like me to make a second part. And also, if you have a few facts, maybe you're Danish and you know some facts that I haven't mentioned today, maybe write them also down in the comments. So I will say goodbye for now. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video very soon. Bye bye.